still, I think you need to open your PyCharm. And yeah, we already built the model. Last time we already know that there are two tables. The first table is the question, and the second table is the choice. And then I will explain to you later about this STR. So this is the table, and we already know that one question will have many choice, or one question will have many answers. Yeah, last time we already did until this part, so we understand that those two tables will be connected, and the connection will be based on the foreign key. So there's a foreign key over here. So the foreign key means I would like to put the answer in choice to connect with the question. Okay? So here the foreign key means there will be a key to connect to the question, and then whenever it is deleted, it will also give the connection deleted to the question. Okay, and after you have this one, we are going to make the admin. What does it mean by the admin is whenever we want to update the data, we need to register. Okay, register. I want to register the question. I want to register the choice. So we have two tables, and then we want to register it to the admin page. So we will do the admin page soon. So you can just copy and paste this one. So you can copy this code, and then you go to your PyCharm, and we go to the admin. Okay. There is one file about admin. If you double click, so you just Control A, you can remove everything in this admin and then replace with the code that I give in the PPT. So the first is about the admin. We are going to update the admin section, and let's just make very simple of the admin function here. If you want to add more things, yeah, you can do something with this admin.py. But in this case, I would like just to give the models. In this case, the models are question and choice. And I would like to register the question, and I want to register the choice into the admin file. Okay. After you have this, let's go to the next one. So the first is to create the model, and the next is to make the admin. After you finish with the admin and the model, so let's do the make migration. So what does it mean by make migration? In this case, I would like to make sure that the changes in the database will be applied to the web. So we will do the make migration. This make migrations will be noted with the FAQ. FAQ means the application name, and then we need to call the Python. Okay, so you can just copy in this one, and then go to the terminal. Okay, in this case, my terminal has opened, and then just paste here Python manage.py make migrations FAQ. So this command is the command to execute what you will do for the database, and you need to mention what is the application name. So we have the application name is FAQ. So if you have your application name like product, then yeah, you need to mention this as the product. If you have your uh, the application name is like book, okay, then you need to type this also book. So this is the application name. And once you execute this one, you will see that it creates two models, question and choice. After you do the make migrations, we need to run migrate. Okay, so those two are the important steps. Make migration and then migrate. The migrate will apply to all environments. So make migrations will apply only for the database, but migrate will apply for all environment, including the authorization, content, session, and everything. So let me just copy this one, and then because it is in the it is still in the project, okay, so I can just do migrate. So the idea is like this. Whenever you do the make migration, it is a command to update the model in one application. Okay. So every app will have their own model. That's the basic idea in Django. But for the migrate means after you make migration for every application, you want to apply all into the session, content types, admin, and etc. Okay. So this is the model for one app, and this is to update all the app. So we can have more than one app in one project. Okay. And after you do the migrate, now that's the time to go to the admin page. The admin page means you need to run your project. You still remember how to run your project? Yeah, this is the button run. Okay. So in the top right, there's run. If everything is fine, then there will be no errors. Okay. So you can see there is one link here. This is the link to indicate that this is the local host. And then we have 8,000. So the 8,000 means the port number. If you click this, you will go to this one, and then let's go to the admin. Okay. Just press enter. Now you will see the Django administration. In this Django administration, you need to type what you already typed in the when you type the create super user. You still remember? When you create the super user, you create one username and then you input also the password. So in my case, I use user and then I use this password. So in your case, I don't know what is your username and what is your password. Hopefully you just use the same as mine. So I will just use what I already registered. So if you forgot last week, then you can just register again. Okay. So I will just do this one, user, and then have IM8203. So it will enter to the Django administration. Okay. Because we already registered the FAQ in the admin.py, you can see there are two tables here, choice and question. Now, let's make only one simple data. Okay, so just make one. So let's make together with me, because later on we will do with the SQL, we will do with the query language to update, to add more data, or to delete, or to read, and etc. Okay. So in this case, let's do the two things here. The first thing is, let's add the question. Okay, we know that one question contains many answers. So there should be one question and there could be one answer. In the question part, I would like to give you one question. For example, where is neighbor? Okay. And then the date, yeah, it's up to you. So let's see. I will go to the question and then I can push add, or if you want to do the question here, and then you can press this one, add question. So it's up to you. Or if you want to return back, you can go to this FAQ. So you can add, yeah, like this one. Yeah, it's the same. Now I just want to have question. Where is neighbor? Example. And what is the date? Let's say just want to put the date today. Yeah, that's fine. And I just want to put the time now. You can see this one. You already set the time into the Seoul time. Seoul time means the current time is, yeah, 4 p.m. So this is, yeah, 4 p.m. Yeah. So if you want to click again now, then it will change according to the current time. Okay. Or if you want to set the date by the other date, not by today, so yeah, you can change by yourself. Or the time, if you want to change by yourself, yeah, you can also change. Okay. Now it doesn't matter. Maybe just put today. Okay. And then I just now. If you finish, you can save file. So there will be one question. Where is neighbor? Now I would like to make a choice. And let's add one choice. And the choice is, okay, I will connect to the object number one, which is the question. And then I will give the choice tag, please find the URL. And then I will give the URL as, I will give the URL to the URL section. So let's see here, where is neighbor? Oh, you can see the text. So you can see the text, not the same with what I explained here, question object one, because this one is just using the object without the string. I will explain to you later. And then choice text, please find the URL. This is only for example. Okay, so you can type anything actually. But now let's just follow this one. Votes. Yeah, maybe because this is the first answer, there is nobody who will give the vote. And the URL, I want to give http://www.neighbor.com. Okay, and I will save. So you will see the choice object one. A little bit different with the question. You can see the question is where is neighbor, but here the choice is choice object one. Why? The reason is I can show you in your model. In your model, you have this one. You want to show the question text. If you put the same, this one, and you want to show the choice text, then you can show it here. Okay, so the choice text can be also shown like that one. Now I will not do this one because it will generate. We need to do the migration. We need to do the migrate again. Later we will do that part. Okay. So after we have those data, now I would like to see the database. How can we see the database? So this is the database in the web. So this is the database in the web that I can see from this administration. So in this administration, you can change, can delete. Okay. So for choice, it's also the same. When you click, yeah, you can change, you can delete, or yeah, you can add more files. Okay, you can add more choices. You can add more questions. Now I would like to know if those files are in the database. You can see the DB SQLite tree. So in this case, this is the database. So we can see there is one DB SQLite tree. In the settings, you still remember. In the settings, we have this. Yeah, this part. The database is from the SQLite tree, and then the name of the database is db.sqlite3. So because we already make the migrations and then we already migrate, then it is automatically created. Now, if I want to open this database, so you can double click. Once you double click, you can see the right panel. When you have this right panel, it's nothing to show here. Okay? So you can just right click. Okay. Did I put something in the? Okay, so you can also drag and drop. It's up to you, or you can double click. Okay. So in the previous version, the double click doesn't work, but the new version they allow with the double click. So after you double click, you will see the DB in the database section. And yeah, after you do the database here, now you need to check the properties. 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 Okay. Because now the database in this Django cannot directly execute this database because we don't have the driver for the first time. But for if you are the user of Django for the first time, you need to install. So here you can see the missing driver file. Okay, so download the missing driver file. After the errors or the warning disappear, we can try to test the connection. Now you will see that the DBMS is using the SQLite, and the SQLite is version 3.34 and so on. Okay. After you finish with this one, then you can just click apply. When you finish with the apply, you can just press OK. Okay. Now you can enter back to this DB and then maybe you need to refresh. So once you refresh, you will see that there is one here, there is one DB. And if you open this schema, you will see there are two tables that we already created. The first is the FAQ underbar choice, and the other is the FAQ underbar question. Okay, and then if you double click on this, so if you double click on the FAQ underbar question, you will see the table. The ID equals to 1, and then the question underbar text, it means the column name. The question is, where is neighbor? And the publication date is 2021 03/29, and this is the time when I inserted the question text into the database. Okay. Any comments? Any questions until now? You can also open the choice here. Okay. You can see that, yeah, this is the content, and this ID in the choice is connected to the ID question number 1. Okay. Okay. So before I continue with the remaining things, I would like to say to you that, yeah, we are going to use the SQLite. So SQLite is one of the database, and it is already embedded in the Django. It's already embedded in PyCharm. So it's you don't need to install again, because if you install other database, maybe it will consume some memory. And the idea is the same with the other kind of database. So I will just use this SQLite for our course. However, if you want to change your database to other kind of DB, like you want to use PostgreSQL, or if you want to use MySQL, or if you want to use Oracle, okay, so you can choose the engine. You need to download the files, and then you need to put the engines here. Okay. So there's one section about engine. So here you can change. If you are using MySQL, then you can change the engine. If you're using the Oracle, then you can change to the Oracle, and so on. Okay, so the backend will be about the name of the DB that you're using. And then don't forget to, I think, yeah, this is the basic one. It will create the file name in your base directory. So this is the file name, db.sql3. If your file is about the, if your file is Oracle, then you may need to define the new name. If your DB is about MySQL, then you need to define the new name, for example. So this is the name that you need to define for your database. Oh, sorry. And the other thing is about the apps. Okay. In the apps, we have several libraries that already embedded in Django. So we can use the admin. As you can see, we can see the admin page directly. So you don't need to make the admin, but just call the admin, and then it shows the admin page. There are some other kind of libraries already existing in Django, like the authorization, content types, session, messages, and static files. We're going to learn just the basic about the authorization, about the messages, about the static files, yeah, but not all the things. But we will learn the very simple things from all these. So please remember that whenever you do some changes, whenever you do some changes in your model, either in your models or maybe in your admin page, okay, for your model, you need to run at least those two. Make migration, and don't forget to apply to the project name, sorry, the application name, and then migrate. Okay, so those two, make migration and migrate. Those are the most important comments whenever you modify. Yeah, I would just want to explain that, yeah, the examples that we use now is just using the SQL tree, and then the table names are automatically generated by combining the name of the app. Yeah, the name of the app is FAQ, and then lowercase name of the model, which is question and choice. So you can see here, this is the FAQ underbar choice, FAQ underbar question. The primary key, the primary key is automatically added. You can see here, you don't have any primary key. Okay? No primary key here, and there is also no primary key here. But when you open this question, originally your table contains only two columns, question text and publication date. But we have additional column, which is ID. The same with choice. Okay? So we have the ID, which is the additional column. So this is just done by the SQLite. So you do need to care about this one. And the other things that you need to understand is, yeah, the ID. Okay? The Django appends underbar ID to the foreign key field name. Here, you have the question underbar ID to indicate that this one is the number in the Django FAQ question. It is related with this ID. And the foreign key relationship is made explicit by a foreign key constraint. And then the different database may have different type of fields of the primary key. So I can say that if you are using the SQLite, so this course fits for the understanding about the SQLite. But if you are using the other kind of database like MySQL or PostgreSQL, there will be another way to generate the ID, or there will be another way to generate the primary key. If in the later part, I will need to do like the migrate command. Okay. Sometimes you don't need to use the SQL migrate, but in sometimes you need to use this SQL migrate to see how the SQL Django works. So the different database may have different ways to query the data. Anyway, yeah, that's all about the model. I hope there is no issue with your computer. Any questions, comments? No? So this is just an additional. Okay? If you still have problems with your model, yeah, last week one student came to me and then she mentioned that there was a problem with the models, and then she cannot generate the models, and yeah, there's an issue with the PyCharm. So there are many problems in her PyCharm. So this is just the additional. The additional means if you have no table in your database. So, for example, you can see the DB, but you cannot see the choice and the question. Then I give you this one. So you need to do the SQL migrate FAQ 001 and then do the migrate. So this following can be run from the run manage.py.task. So you can see here from the tools, you have run manage.py.task. So if you execute, it will show you one kind of terminal, but this is not the terminal. So this is the terminal that we used before, but this is the manage.py to do something with the project.
Amazing.
Okay. So, any questions? Yeah. Sometimes if you cannot show the table and if you cannot see the columns, you need to do the SQL migrate. I will skip this one because we already see the table. Or I don't know. Is there any problem with your computer? Any issue with your computer? No? Okay, so if you have any problems with your computer, then let me know. Okay. So by this time, I hope that your Django works well. Okay. So I give you one assignment. Okay, this is one assignment. So your assignment will be creating one HTML file. So you know how to create the HTML file already. You will learn in the first and the second week. And then try to make one project in your Django. Okay. You don't need to make the model. You don't need to make the database. Just try to publish the HTML file in your Django project. And then yeah, make your own HTML file. So it's up to you. Maybe you want to make your own personal website. That's fine. Or you want to make anything. Okay, it's up to you. But you need to write the code with most of the contents that you already learned in the HTML basic PowerPoint file. So what you already learned in your PowerPoint, put them in your HTML file. So like table, or maybe you can add image, or you can add like using GIF or span. It's up to you. You can make also form, okay, and you can also make frame. So you can design freely, but all the things should be in Django. So you need to run the Django, and then you need to fit with the Django. So whenever I run in my computer, in my Django, it will work, and I can see the HTML file. Okay. Hopefully the time is not that short for you. I'll give you like 1 week, so you can submit by next week. Okay. Now let's move on to the SQL part. In this section, this SQL part is about how to access the data. In order to access the data, there are two ways. The first is to use the Python shell, and the second is using the SQL or structured query language. In the Python shell, we can use the Python code to access the data. So the Python code that we learned before, yeah, we can use that one to see the data, to save the data, to delete the data, or to modify the data. And if we already understand the concept about the MVT, do you still remember MVT? What is MVT? Do you still remember? What is MVT? MVT. Okay. Oh, Jung Jiwon, you are here. Thank you. Kim Yun Chu, thank you. Yeah, it's about model, view, and template. Okay. So the T is the template. Okay. Here I put view as V, and the template is T. And we just try to understand about the M for this PowerPoint. So the Python shell is one Java code, or sorry, the Python code that we can use also the V and also the T, not only M. So on M, on and V, on T, we can use the Python shell. However, in the SQL, okay, the SQL things, we will use SQL language. So the SQL language, it depends on the database. So if you use the SQLite, then the language will be about the query for the SQLite. If you use the Oracle, then the query will be different. If you use MySQL, the query will be different. Okay? So there is, yeah, the basic idea is still the same, but the language a little bit different. So it's like you learn Java, you learn C, you learn C++, you learn C Sharp, and so on. So those are the programming languages, but they are different in the syntax. The same with the SQL, although we call it SQL, but it is different according to the database. And the thing is, the SQL can be shown only on a view. If you want to put into the template, you need to do something more. You need to translate to the template. Okay? So that's why I want to teach only based on the Python shell, because we are going to use the Python code, not the SQL. If you use SQL, it might be difficult for you to learn again about how to translate that query language into template. So now, first, I will just give you one simple example how we can access the data via the SQL. So in the SQL, we have like select star from what is the database name or what is the table name. So let's see. In PyCharm, you have the QL here. Can you see? Jump to query console. So if you click this, okay, if you click this query console, there will be one panel open for you. The name is console. And if you type like select star, star means everything. And then from means you want to get from a particular table. So let's say I want to get from the FAQ question. So I want to get something from the FAQ question. And then if you want to execute, this one is the button to execute, and you will see. So here is the FAQ question. Okay, and then this is the FAQ choice, and then this is the console. Based on the SQL, we can see that this is to get the data in the FAQ question, and the result is like this one. Okay. You can see that this is the SQL language also. Okay. So select T star from the FAQ question and so on. So this is the basic to get the data whenever you call the FAQ question and whenever you call the FAQ choice. You can use other kind of access with the SQL, but I want you to learn the way to access the data via the shell. We call it shell or Python shell. And in order to access the data base, okay, we need to use the Python function. So the first, we need to run manage py in the task. Okay, so in the tool, you can see this one, run manage.py task. Okay, can you see? Under the tools, run manage.py task. If you click, you will see this one. Uh, what is this problem? Okay, I hope that this is the problem before. Okay. Let's see if I. So if you already go to this manage.py, you can type shell. Okay. So you can type shell. Shell. Oh. Hmm. Do you have the same error? Okay. Then I guess we need to do something with this one then. Okay, let's try. SQL migrate FAQ 001. Okay. So let's run this into this shell, into this Python, into this manage.py. So in this case, the manage.py has been run, and then we just try to figure out what will be the next comment that we want to run. Um, the load field while importing the. Let's see if I go to these properties. Okay, I'm not sure with this error. Okay. So I need to add more link to the Wangyongbyonsu. Okay, so let's see. What is it? So I need to find the anaconda and library and pin. So in your case, you can also try to figure out the place for your pet. Okay. So where is the anaconda? Oh, perfect. I don't have the link to the anaconda. the anaconda? Oh, oh, that's why. So I need to add the anaconda files. Where is my anaconda files? Here is the anaconda. Hmm. Wait a moment. Why it is missing? User IME anaconda. Okay, that should be here. User IME the anaconda. So user IME and anaconda. There will be one folder here. Okay, this is the folder, and then I need to go to the library, and then I need to go to the bin, and then I will copy this link. Okay, library and bin. I will copy this link, and then I will put on the pad. Oh, why it is too complex? Okay, anyway, let me try. Okay, I just want to try this one. Um, okay, I don't know why this one. Okay, let me get back to you on Wednesday to fix this error. Okay, now I'm not sure what is this error. In my other computer, it works well, but now it's not working well. Okay, I think it's time to finish.